There we go. Okay, so here we are with Sally from the corner store in Walhalla, and she's here to talk to us about the concerns that she has with the Great Forest National Park. So Sally, can you tell us what it is? What would be the number one concern that you have if they do decide to lock up the bush and turn it all into national parks around Walhalla here?
It'll drastically affect tourism.
Yeah.
That's basically it. We run a business. We just won't be here without the tourists.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And one of the most important lines. That's all I can really say about that. It'll put me out of a job. It'll put Jess out of a job. Yeah. It's just, and the enjoyment for the tourists as well, like coming and enjoying Walhalla and its history, it'll be gone.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so the government's talked about having done a lengthy consultation process over a number of years. Were you aware of any consultation processes? Were you approached in any kind of way? Or how did you find out about this proposed Great Forest National Park?
I was unaware until I read about it on Facebook. Yeah. It was shared from friends to friends to friends to friends. I was never approached by any MP or nothing. Nobody has come and done a walkthrough with Walhalla and spoken to the residents, which I am one, to the businesses, nobody. I had to hear about it from Facebook, like I said, and it was shared like 5 times through friends before I saw it.
Yeah. Wow. So what kind of impacts do you think, by closing up the bush, what kind of impacts, is it just like the environmental, business, the community? I mean, what would happen to Walhalla if the bush was really locked up and people couldn't access and come through here the way that they are currently?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, apart from the effect on businesses through tourism, is bushfires. Yep. There'll be a lot of growth, a lot of leaf litter. All the tracks and things will become overgrown because there'll be no more four-wheel driving, horse riding, anything like that. So bushfire is a major factor. And I predict it'd be something like Black Saturday all over again, you know, because there'll just be no maintenance. And yes, they'll lock it up, but they won't maintain it. They might do spots here and there. So it's very dangerous for a place like Walhalla to be surrounded by locked up bush with no maintenance. As I said before, tourism. And it'd just be a shame if people miss out on visiting a place like this. You know, I might be biased, but there's no other place in Australia like Walhalla, and people will miss out on it.
Yeah. And where are a lot of the tourists coming from?
All over the world. Right. All over the world. It's not just local, it's not just Australian, it is all over the world. Yeah. And particularly since we've had the Liam Neeson movie shot here, we are now global. Yeah. So we've got people coming from Canada, America, you know, is Liam Neeson still here? So because we're on a global aspect now, it'd be a real shame to take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So the government talks about a concept of like ecotourism, that the current users would be replaced with ecotourists, forest therapy, you know, spa resorts, those sorts of things. As a town like Walhalla, how does that impact on you?
Who can afford that?
Yeah.
Especially in the current climate, who can afford that? Yeah. The prices have risen for B&Bs and things here, but it's still affordable for the average Joe. If they're talking about spa resorts and things like this, the prices would be astronomical. It'll only be a select demographic of person that will be able to afford it. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah.
And do you see a lot of like free camping with families who can come because it's
not if they're going to go that way? Because if they're already talking about spas and things like that, they're looking for the wealthier clientele, not the average family who's coming to enjoy a camping trip at Walhalla. We have the North Gardens, which is free. We have Thompson. We have Cooper's Creek. they'll be gone.
Yeah.
They won't be able to afford it. It's a ridiculous concept.
Yeah. Yeah. So the government is saying that, you know, it's all fine. It's just a proposal. It's not gonna have any great big. You'll barely even notice it. It's all fine. They're trying to reassure us all that it's all good and we should trust them. What do you think about the idea of whether or not we can trust the word of our government?
Well, as I said before, just saying, you know, keep calm and carry on, that raises alarm bells in itself.
Yeah.
And who trusts the government?
Yeah.
You know, they've done nothing to warrant anybody's trust. So why trust them with this? Yeah. It's a ridiculous concept.
Yeah. So if the Minister for the Environment, Steve, was actually watching this video right now, what would you like to say to him?
Drop it.
Well, that's pretty clear.
Why fix what isn't broken? Yeah. Instead of spending ridiculous amounts of money in closing the bush and building these stupid spas, put money into what's here already. Yeah. You know, maintain the historic buildings that remain today. Yeah. Build replicas of what was here before. You know, concentrate on Walhalla as a town and bringing in more people and more tourism instead of building ridiculous spas and locking up the bush where it risks bushfires and it'll burn the spas down anyway.
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's ridiculous. Drop it.
Yeah, beautiful. Love it. So thank you so much. So everybody, if you're in Walhalla, definitely call into the corner store and see Sally. And, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.